God has put you in some pretty important places and some pretty important times. Okay, that was no accident that you happen to be a black face, in uniting a royal family for the world to see, and from America at the same time we were ushering out the Obama era. What we saw and the history that we saw being made here. You were part of and I wanted to ask you about this later. We'll get to it, but I'm just gonna drop this on you right now. You were part of an era of firsts, and I don't know if you fully understood or appreciated what that meant to people like me and those boys at the school who were watching you being part of an era of firsts. That to me was one of the most incredible things, to see that and to see it when it happened, you know?
Yeah. That's, that I hadn't, nobody said that to me, but, in a way, I'm the product of people I saw and emulated their character and their commitments. And I'm the product of that. And if I can be that for somebody else, then the work goes on. The struggle continues. It continues. And
well, you are that, whether you knew it or not, or know it or not, you are.
I really didn't, and don't.
So let's talk about the reason why all of us are here together right now, and that's because we're all here to support the Bishop Walker School.
Yes.
You went there to visit the school over at its new location in the Ark. I want to hear you tell me and tell everyone what is it that touched your heart and touched you to stay connected and to help out in this way with the school.
Well, you know what? There are a number of things. I guess I've been there twice now. A number of things. One, I knew Bishop Walker, and I knew him as I was a young man, a young priest, and he was someone that I looked up to as someone who was young in this particular vocation. He was a role model, whether he was aware of it or not, for me. And he was a role model for the 27th presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church that he was a part of. Now, and he may or may not have been aware of that. Who knows? But in God's economy, that's how it works. We all do play that kind of role for each other. What I saw at the Bishop Walker School is was a perpetuation of that heritage for young men to have a vision of who they are called to be, and what they can become, and to see it represented in the community where they actually get their education, to see themselves being called up to the very best that they can be, the most articulate that they can be, the brightest that they can be, the kindest that they can be, to see the character formation. And Lord knows, in our time, we know character counts. It matters. We have seen it play out in our country in our time, that it has been people often in the minority who have stood up against the sound of popularity, to stand up and do what was right and just and compassionate. We need more people of character like that. And the Bishop Walker School is forming young men, young African-American men in particular, forming them to be men of character, of honor and dignity, who are using every gift that God has given them and doing it in order to make the world a better place for all of us, for all people. I can't think of a higher calling. We've seen what President Kennedy called profiles in courage. And I believe that the Bishop Walker School is actually inculcating the formation of moral courage in young men who will go out and become new profiles in courage, and whose values can reshape the destiny of this country and this world.
And they will do so because of inspirations that they will be getting from people like you. I have to ask you this, and I hope this does not embarrass you or put you or make you uncomfortable to talk about yourself for a moment here. But you are part of an era of firsts that many of us never thought we would see. First Black president, first Black vice president, first woman vice president, first Black presiding bishop. And these boys who are in this school and who are in this community and are being embraced by this Episcopal community, they're all being influenced by this. Do you have a sense of what you are, who you are, and when you are who you are and what you are, and what it means to these boys?
Gosh, I don't know. What I do know is what I hope is the case. I hope I can mean to them what a Bishop Walker meant to me. What a John Melville Burgess, who was the Bishop of Massachusetts, meant to me. These people helped to form and shape me. My own father, they inculcated. I remember my daddy used to say to me over and over again, the Lord didn't put you here just to consume the oxygen.
Sounds like my mother.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's old wisdom, you know? You are here for a sublime moral and spiritual purpose.
Yes.
You know, you're not just here by accident, not just biology. That's important, but not just biology. No. And, you know, I was influenced by a generation of people who taught me that a life of service was a life worth living. What that old song say? If I can help somebody along the way, then my living will not be in vain.
Not been in vain.
Oh, no matter what you do, you can be an engineer, you can be a scientist, you can be sweeping the floor in the hospital, but do it with dignity and honor and treat folk with integrity.
With that, I just want to finally ask you, because one of the other things that you talk about, three of the things that you talk about all the time, you know, is the power of love and the power of hope.
Yeah.
And dreams.
Yes.
We're doing, and what you're doing here, and what we're doing here tonight is we're helping to fashion the dreams of the next generation of boys that are going to be coming out of the Bishop Walker School and are going to be changing their worlds. And I say that plural, because their worlds will overlap with other worlds.
Yes.
Ours and our children's and our neighbors as well. Give us a thought about the power of the dream and of love and of hope, and what it can mean for them going forward.
You know, it is amazing. I wrote a book recently, and I had a chapter in that book entitled "What Desmond Tutu and
Dolly Parton
having."
I read that.
It was the publisher
jumped out of the book on me. I couldn't believe you wrote that.
I know. The publisher said, I remember my editor could have said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Just read it. Just trust me." And the truth is, and in that chapter, I wove in the dream montage in Langston Hughes and wove those together. That what held those together was that in each case, these were people whose lives were lifted up from what the Bible calls in the Psalms the muck and the mire of life that can pull you down, the mud, the quicksand that can pull you down. It was that capacity to dream. George Bernard Shaw said, "Some men see things as they are and ask why. I dream things that never were and ask why not." And it is that capacity to dream things that never were that will pull you beyond where you would go if you stay stuck in the reality that you're given. Desmond Tutu dreamed of a South Africa where all of South Africa's children would be welcome. I heard him say that in the early 1980s, before Nelson Mandela was in prison. There was no hope that apartheid was going to be ended. Bishop Walker and others were working with him to free South Africa then, but there was no clear hope that it was going to happen. You had to have a dream, a vision of a new South Africa that could give you the courage and the strength to battle for it. Dolly Parton grew up a poor girl. And she says in her own autobiography, she says, "I had a dream of something better, that I could do more than just be poor the rest of my life." And look at it. And now she's like doing all sorts of things to help other people out. Langston Hughes, what happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Does it fester like a sore and then run? Hold fast the dreams, another poem says. For life without a dream is like a bird with a broken wing that cannot fly. Yes. A dream, it can soar. So, I mean, the reality is that helping someone to have a dream, to hold fast to dreams, and then to live practically to make them real. Even if you don't reach them completely, you're going to go beyond where you would have without them.
That's exactly, that words straight from your lips to God's ears and our hearts. And that's exactly the reason why all of us are here together tonight. And I just can't thank you enough for sharing your heart and your wisdom and your love and your hopes and your dream with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You are giving of your time for this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
My pleasure. My honor. My honor.